Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson, and have we got some more great guests for you this evening? I am so pleased to have our town committee chairman, our councilman, our person who serves on the Water and the Sewer Commission. He does everything in town. Bill Sayers, welcome to the show. Plus, he's got a radio show here on WILI. So we are very, very pleased to have you join us today.
Hey, he just baked an apple pie for his mom.
And he did that,
He showed us
too?
a picture of it on his phone. That's impressive, Bill.
Well,
I have never done that. My mom is not with
I'd
us
like
anymore.
to take credit for it, but, anyways, the oven does the work.
Well, no,
I
I've
wouldn't
made
even do
pies.
that. I'm not a baker
He wouldn't.
or a
Dennis
butcher
wouldn't
or
know.
a candlestick maker.
I know.
Anyways.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're so pleased that you're here, Bill, because you've done so much for the town, and you continue to work so hard. And we're just pleased with all that work. I know that I was over at the Waterworks recently, and how's everything going over there? We'll do a little bit of catch up.
I got to tell you, I think we're doing great. We've won another award, as you're aware, and then we got this great proclamation from our state representative, which recognized the hard work of our employees over there. We have a man at the door there. And we're very, very fortunate that we have the staff and the crew that we have there, and they do amazing work.
They certainly
Amazing
do.
work.
The water tastes wonderful and is monitored all the time, and the new equipment that you've all put together to make sure that it's wonderfully clean and safe and great for our people. It's just a great thing that you do there. And also, you do work on the sewer authority as well.
Another very well run, very, very professionally managed facility where the town of Windham has to applaud the waterworks and the water pollution control guys, because they do absolutely amazing work. They do.
And of course, on the council, you all work so hard. We have such a very different, complicated form of government that you all have to work a little extra hard because of all the complexities here in Wyndham.
Well, it doesn't help that we have two taxing districts, as you're aware, and the budget is chopped into 3-4 different directions, and it's chopped into 5.
6, according to the town manager.
If you put the water department, the sewer department, I forgot the school.
That's right. There we go.
Then the
That's
town
the
council and your
Police
two
and fire,
taxing districts.
Yeah.
That creates But we're fortunate
Confusion.
in that we have great leadership on our town council, and we have the mayor too.
Thanks,
But
Bill.
Well, that's great.
No, we're fortunate to have Tom Devivo, who leads the town council and keeps us in line. I know that he corrects me quite often, because I can get really off topic and very, very quickly.
Well, that's me. I thought are you duplicating me?
Yes, well, Susan, you and I can get going. We could hold a week-long conversation and never stop. So
I think we could. That's why we want you on the show there, Bill. Well, I gotta also welcome our guest, the mayor, Tom Devivo. Welcome to the show, Tom. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and it's great to be here be on the air with Bill Sayers, right?
Exactly.
And Dennis, and we have Dennis here, who doesn't get to talk much.
He's
a quiet
He's
one
a-
of this
he-
group.
I- yeah, he's
People
counting.
see me on the
I will
street and they
say-
say that. They say, Dennis, why don't you talk more? You let Susan do so much talking and you don't talk much yourself.
He counts all
This
the
is
words
going on
after
for
the
years.
show. He
People
counts
stop
the
at
words.
the
How
street.
many words?
I think we should go for. I think we should go for a 2-hour show. That way, you have your hour, he has his hour, and
Okay,
But we have so much great things happening, Tom. But this is budget season. I came in late, and I was walking in a little bit. So, did you talk about people we're trying to have people view this on virtually too if you can't make a meeting?
I haven't got there yet.
Yeah, but we're really worried. I want the residents of the town of Wyndham to attend in person or watch us virtually, and you can join the town council or the board of finance. They're on the website. There's a link on the agendas, because I think we have tough choices.
Yes, we
And
do.
we are virtual, and if you can watch them and see that we're making sausage, right? That's what we're doing, and it's not so easy. It's not pretty, but we're going to get there, and you're gonna love the bolognese when we get done.
Well, I hope so.
Well,
Yeah,
I want
hope
to just
so.
say this. When I got to the Capitol and I saw like a town like Simsbury or a town like West Hartford, towns like Avon, all those towns, they got one police fire department and then they got one town, one education department. Here we have multiple everything, even multiple educational opportunities, which is great in terms of the local boards of ed. We have magnet schools, two magnet schools. One is run by the town of Wyndham, the other one is run by EastCon. And these are additional things, including the fact that we are a low-income school district, and so in that circumstance, we also have Alliance District money and regular education cost sharing money. So there are multiple things that go on with respect to education, with respect to the town being into multiple pieces. It's just a complicated place, and I didn't realize it when I served on the council back in the day. I was just like, oh, I represent the Wyndham part, Willimantic part, and oh yeah, there's the and we looked at the budget. And the budget was not as complicated then as it is now because you have all these different opportunities for different types of funding. You have the way payment in lieu of taxes, which is increased, but it's analyzed in multiple different ways all the time.
Well, you're right. But one thing Bill mentioned, we do have for the tale of two cities, right? The tale of two towns.
yes.
But the town council, the board of finance. Actually, the Board of Finance doesn't deal with taxing districts. Like the Wilmette Taxing District does their own budget because they're responsible adults. And are you responsible adult, Dennis?
Yes,
Yes,
Willimantic
you are.
Taxing District does
And I
their own
think the
budget.
town council could do their own at some point in a charter change. But the first taxing district, which is the Wyndhams, it's Wyndham Center North, they're primarily charged with just the 3 volunteer fire departments. They raise some money to do a few other little things. They support the Wyndham Free Library and Bill, what's the name?
WYO.
WYO. And what's
They have
the
some
other?
streetlights, too, don't they?
No, they
another
do not.
library.
They do not?
They
No,
do not. What
soon
is
lost.
this? What is the library in South
They lost-
Wyndham?
Okay.
But they have a library in South Wyndham.
Yes, they do.
The South
Yes, they
Wyndham-
do. That's right.
the
2
Wyndham-
libraries.
There's 2 libraries. They support those, but they really wouldn't need to. The town should actually, in my opinion, should be picking up youth sports. We should be picking up the libraries, have part of a library system. But we've had to cut our budget, and they seem to have some extra. But they're there primarily and we don't see their budget.
Nope.
We don't vote on their budget. No one. You have to be a Wyndham resident to vote. Live in the 3 Wyndhams. They do it themselves. It's a hand vote.
Yeah.
It's like a town. They don't have a town meeting. I guess what do you call it? It's a taxing district meeting.
Yeah,
But they invite people in, and you get to.
it's like a town meeting for them.
It's like a town meeting for them. They vote for their budget. I don't even know how much money they have.
Their
but-
budget is very small compared to the others.
Yeah, it's
Compared
small.
to even to the Willimantic Taxing District.
Yeah, but they have the
Particularly compared to
right.
Well, when town of
because
Wyndham, too.
Town
but
of
anyway,
Wyndham.
but yeah,
That's
but
the
just
big
one
one.
of the things
It's
that,
$1 million budget though.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that was in the tax.
But the
Yes,
but that's the
We're
villages.
looking at
yeah.
almost $22 million budget
Yeah.
There you go.
for the
Thank-
entire town.
But then you've got your separate for the police fire that are paid, and so that is police fire in Willimantic is paid. And how much is that, Dennis? About
13th?
13 million. Okay.
Yeah, but I want to say this, to you, Susan. Without Susan in Hartford, it would be a harder task to have the money. You bring home a lot of money to this town, and as a state rep, as the mayor, and I'm sure Bill does as a council member, we're very appreciative of all the work you do in Hartford. I went up there the last week to try and ask for even more money for ECS, and like you're the go-to person. Everyone seemed to know you everywhere you went.
Well, that's my job, right? Everybody's
Yeah.
supposed to know me, and I'm supposed to know how it all works. And actually, I've spent
You
some
do.
time trying to figure it out, and I do know a lot about how it works now. And that's why I want to make sure that when I talk to people about our town, that we talk about all the complexities we have to deal with here, and the state. And I'm trying to get now the information out to the people who are all over the state about the complexities authorities in some of the places that serve the region like we do, that provide for homeless shelters, that have housing authorities that don't get any payment in lieu of taxes. So we have all these things we do for the region, and it's about time the regions and places like the regions of Hartford, the regions of Bridgeport, the regions of Waterbury, all these regions, they understand how we help them. Go ahead, Dennis.
I have the answer to that, but I won't get into it now because you told me that you were having these two guys on the air mainly to talk about how we lost a really important member of our town historically, Walter Polakevich, who they
Thank you.
both know
Yes.
and they both work with. And we don't have much time, but Walter passed away recently, and he was our first selectman for 10 years, and then our state representative for another 10. So he served our town very well for 20 years, and I had, I think I probably managed just about all of his campaigns. I believe I did. I was town chair there for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And before that, he ran for, his first election was with you, Susan.
That's
running
right.
for the board of selectmen. I believe Bill Sayers got elected that same time.
Yeah.
And Bill Sayers was on the board of selectmen as well.
No, I had stepped down to prepare to run for registrar, and Susan took my spot.
Oh, is that right? Susan took your spot.
That's right.
That's how it all started.
Okay.
Exactly, and I took Charlotte's spot.
That's right.
Charles
Mrs.
Petros, yeah.
But, Walter was a great man. He kind of got me started in politics.
Yeah.
Sure, my family was involved in local politics, but
Oh, your father was.
I was.
definitely.
He was pushing this economic development group led by Dave Phillips, the late great Dave
Yep,
Phillips,
yep.
and they were dreaming and planning of the Frog Bridge, and it's beautiful. And at the same time, we did the Frog Bridge. We did some other downtown work. We had so there was a lot he did. He did the Frog Bridge. He really started the magnet school idea. It didn't get through. Was he there when we built the middle school?
Yes.
Middle
Yes,
school
the
was
middle
in
school.
what, 95, somewhere
94,
around there.
95,
Yeah.
95, yeah.
Yep.
And he was just, I would say he was a mentor to me, and he really had some great. He had a vision. He had a vision with the mills. I mean, lots of people can sit back and do armchair quarterbacking, but the mill. Where would the mill be without his vision? We wouldn't have the Textile Museum, which is a town asset. We own that, and it's a museum run by a group of volunteers. And we have the rest of the mill buildings. We have 560 on Main, 480 on Main. Those are housing components.
Well, in the letter I wrote to the editor, I'm sorry, to
was on
not to the
Facebook.
editor, to Facebook.
Yep.
After I learned of Walter's passing, I did mention that, during that period of time when Walter was first selectman and then mayor, there were two figures that really stood out in Wyndham politics, and they were Walter and John Lesko. There's no question.
No question.
They were, John served as mayor of the city of Willimantic. He served as first selectman. He served as state representative after he was first selectman. First selectman later. Mm-hmm. But I think those two guys, we were lucky to have them. They were strong leaders. They were both very popular, each in their own way. And I can remember with Walter. When Walter started, he was inexperienced in politics, but was very smart, very hardworking, and was very interested in being involved in local government and helping out the town. And as time went on, he gained knowledge and experience, and I had a lot of fun working with Walter. He had a big smile, and he was friendly. And when you're in politics, there's always somebody who doesn't, like you in particular. And he had a few detractors, but most people really liked Walter. And I can remember
Bill and I have never met anyone that doesn't like us. Have we, Bill?
Well, that's not why I wear that
that's another
bulletproof
show.
vest to the
That's
town
another
council
show,
meetings,
guys.
but
That's another show.
But anyway.
But anyway, let me just finish up what I was going to say about Walter. I remember when I was running the campaigns, I didn't have to go out and knock on doors. I was the chairman. I was the chairman of the campaign and the party. And I would tell people, you get out there and you knock on doors. You know, and don't come back until you've knocked on, so many doors, or you spend 2 hours knocking on doors. And I knocked on doors later on a little bit when I was a candidate. And it's not easy, but once you get started, it's not bad, because most people, one-to-one, talking to them face-to-face, are pretty nice. And it's nice to see them. But Walter used to go out there, and he had trouble getting started. But when he came back, he would say, "Dennis," he said, "they love me. They love me." I said, "Walter, go back out there and get some more of that love." I would send him back out to knock a few more doors, and he did, and people really liked him. And just one more thing, I went out with him door knocking when I ran for judge of probate. He was still running for state representative his last term, and we'd go up to a home, and they'd see Walter coming through the window, and you could hear the people inside saying, "It's Walter, it's Walter." And I'd say, "This is great. I'm going out with Walter, and people don't know me that well, and I'm getting the benefit of being with Walter." Because Walter was a friendly, popular guy, and that big smile was special.
Yes, it was very special.
Your turn, Susan.
Thank you, Dennis.
See, I don't talk much.
I would just want to say that Walter and I came in to the council at the same time, and the first thing that, right after we got sworn in, the first thing that happened was there was a town discussion about what to do with the Wyndham Energy Recovery Facility, and the people that were going to build it build the best possible opportunity for WRF were there, and they said, now, they talked to me and Walter, said, "Now, we want to change the gauge of steel. Which gauge do you want to put in the Wyndham Energy Recovery Facility?" And Walter and I looked at each other, and Walter had a PhD in psychology, and I worked as an advocate for Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries. We said, "We want to get an engineer to help us." And that's exactly
That's
what
smart.
we did. We got the previous engineer, who was let go by the previous first selectman, Norman French, and we got Don Aubrey there to help us out, and we were able to create the best possible technology for the WRF. But that is a long gone story. And anyway, I served with Walter for those first two cycles, and then I went off to law school at night and worked full time. And people would say to me, "Gee, why aren't you still on the council?" I said, "I haven't even got time for lunch." Never mind.
Yeah.
I just want to say one more thing, and then I'll shut up, and you guys can do all the rest of the talking.
Walter shut WRF down.
I want to say one more thing.
Well,
One more thing,
I know
please?
that. Well, wait a minute. Let's just finish WRF.
Oh, thanks.
So WRF
okay.
is.
I'm just going to go home.
WRF is. Yeah, bye.
Whoa!
Whoa. This is typical. This is typical. This is how I get treated.
I just wanted to.
I wanted to praise you, three of you.
Looks like you were done.
I said that Lesko and Walter were the giants of our town politically back then. I'm sitting here today, folks, even though they're not being very nice to me, especially the female here. I'm sitting here with the three giants of Wyndham politics today: Bill Sayers, Tom DeVivo, and Susan Johnson. You guys are the leaders.
No, you're the leader.
giants,
You're the leader.
and you're doing a lot for our town. You're working very hard, and I love you and I respect you. And even though you sometimes don't want to hear me, but
No, we just
anyway,
want to talk
I just
too,
want you to
honey.
know that you are the giants of our era.
So we'll
Well-
get back to Walter. You want to tell your story about Walter?
You
I
going to
just
tell a
wanted-
story about
yeah.
Walter?
No,
or
you
I'll
can.
tell a story about
Yeah,
Walter.
Bill Sayers got
It's
a
not
story.
it's not the greatest story though. It was Walter and I going toe to toe over Kramer School, and his inaction to do anything about it. And even though we had a very, very heated conversation, we went to lunch afterwards. And that's the way he was. Of course, I ended up paying that day, as memory serves me. But that
He forgot his wallet.
no, I don't think his wife had given him his
That's right.
His allowance, yeah.
his allowance that day yet. So but that's the kind of guy he was. You could get right in his face and you could argue with him, and as long as you were being respectful in that argument, he would hold you. He would respect you for it. And so many times today we don't have that anymore. Tom and I can disagree, and we do.
That's true of you.
But-
both. That's
but
true
you know
of
what?
all of you too.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I don't hold it against him.
Yeah.
You know?
You'll take
Well, I
it
yelled
personally.
at you the other about
take
a
it
week
personally.
ago, and you brought it right up in public. Though.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
You told me to stay in my lane. I was
I
like,
wanted you to remember
I
that
didn't
you
tell
told
that
me
to the
Yes,
world.
you did.
I didn't say that to the world.
But you know, it's the way it should be. I mean, it's only when we're talking
I
about
would never do
the
that in
politics, we're talking about the law, we're talking about changes we want to make. Those are all issues. They're not personal.
That's
They're
right.
not, and I don't. And we really have to continuously teach people who are new to politics that hey, these things that you're doing, these are these
Don't
are
take it
all.
personally.
You know,
These
when
are
I
all
first-
issues. They
I-
are not anything
can't
that
take it
you
personally.
can take personally. In fact, I just want to say I always have an intern, and one of the things that comes up very often is they say, "I have this very strong feeling about this. So, how would I deal with this if I were to run for office, for example?" I said, "It's okay to have strong feelings, but they're not personal. It is not about the person; it's about the issue."
Very well.
When I first met, I can't forget. I won't forget when I first met Walter, and he was at UConn,
Yeah.
and teaching at UConn.
That's right.
And God, that car he drove. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We all go, how the hell does he make it up Spring Hill in that car?
I had
You know?
trouble about it back then with Sue's car.
You know, how
Same
does
thing,
that
yeah.
happen? You know, but it's just the kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
You know, nothing changed him.
Right. He still was a force and a force to take care of the town of Wyndham, take care of the people in Wyndham. We started serving in the late '80s when we lost our manufacturing from the American Thread in '83, and we actually had merged about the same time with the villages, and so we had a lot of different things to deal with that were brand new. And we came up with ideas like we need a parking garage, which we finally got. We need to have an arts and entertainment district, which we were still working on. I mean, we came up with ideas to bring Willimantic and Wyndham back, and we have been working on it ever since.
And we need a community center, and that was John Lesko's idea.
Yes.
And Walter was for it too, but John
Yes.
Lesko was the prime mover with that.
I remember I was on
Yep.
the council when he tried to do that, and then they put too much money in the budget because the actual analysis for the community center back then was only $4 million, and they had a budget referendum to get $20 million to get bond, and that of course would fail,
Lost, yeah.
and it lost. So but down the road when I got to the Capitol, I brought some money back, and you all did the rest, and you've done a great job and it's a beautiful community center, really. Thank
Okay,
you for that
Mayor
great
Devivo.
work.
Well, I want
Stern.
to think about how he helped bring Mike Paulus along. Mike Paulus, he had just graduated college, I believe. He had a degree in political science, and he was brought on to be the administrative assistant to add professionalism. That's what Walter saw, is that the office of the first selectman needed the professionalism and needed someone, a real smart person, to help be his aide. And we're fortunate now we have Samara Capo, and she's doing a great job, but you have to have somebody be the assistant, and we didn't have an assistant before that. Dan Line didn't have an assistant.
No, I don't think so.
He had Nina Ricardes.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's
That's
right.
right. You got that.
right.
You're right, but he brought in the right guy. Now Mike is a town manager himself.
Yes,
Mike has
yeah.
moved on.
Yeah.
Plainville?
We had Bob
Plainville.
Ty. Walter had brought in Bob
Bob
Ty
Ty.
as
Yeah,
the
that's
human
right.
resources officer.
Right.
You know, he had worked for American Thread and Brand Rex, I think, for years.
Years.
So he did. He brought
That's
in a
a-
lot of professionalism.
That's a good point, because Walter was, I would consider Walter a liberal, left of center, not way out there.
No, I
But-
don't think
but-
he was that liberal.
No, I agree.
Well, he got along with
Everybody.
Yeah, he got
along
left,
with me,
right,
and I was
center.
fairly really liberal. And he got along with Victor Rahal and Armin Martineau.
Oh, God, some
and,
old
and,
names.
And Jake Lewis, and
Yeah.
those guys were they were not liberals, and they were not even that close to the center. But Walter got along with everybody from all over the spectrum, and that's a key factor in Walter Polakevich.
Yeah, and we will miss him.
Oh,
I have called him.
I missed him when he left town.
When I first became mayor, I called him. Well, I wasn't even mayor yet. I was filling for Victor Funderburg.
Funderburg, yeah.
And I really called him a couple times to get somebody,
Yep, get some advice. Yeah.
And he actually told me, stay out of town hall. But no, he was right, though. You guys should be on the street talking to people and not sitting around town hall all the time. So.
Susan's raising her hand. She's
Yeah.
looking at me to call on her. That's pretty good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I just
2
wanna
hours
say-
left.
2 hours, all right.
I just want to say that when I went to the Capitol and I told people at the Capitol about Walter passing, and I was able to review with everybody in the House our relationship and all the things he did for Wyndham, and
You
of
made a
course,
speech on the floor of the
yes,
House.
yes, I did, and it's actually on Facebook.
Yeah.
But in any event, it was really Speaker Matt Ritter was quite moved. His dad was the Speaker when Walter served.
Tom Ritter.
Tom Ritter, and they were quite
Friendly.
they were touched by the fact that Walter was such a good person to work with at the Capitol, and they put the flag at half staff. We got they sent a Connecticut flag over to the family. I got a citation from me and May, a memorial citation, and then all the leadership created a citation for the family as well.
Very nice.
So we were able to get that. I brought it right down as soon as I got it. I got it in a timely fashion where I could. It was on a Friday, so I got it down to the wake before the wake started, and I was able to get back for the radio show. All right, we're winding down to the last minute.
I just want to thank Bill Sayers and Tom Devivo for spending some time with us talking about a few things, local politics going on now, local government, but also about our good friend Walter Polakevich, who deserves, mention as a really important figure in the history of Wyndham government and everything. And it's I really appreciate you guys coming in, and I wish we had more time. We got a surprise visit from the governor, and
Yeah, it was surprising to see both the governor and the lieutenant governor in town on Friday.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
oh, I didn't.
Yeah, she was here.
Yeah, she was
but
here
she
too?
was, yeah,
Yep.
she. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God,
Yes, because while you guys were having lunch with the governor, I was having lunch with the lieutenant governor.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't get to have
We
lunch.
didn't get to have lunch with him. We
No, we only.
And I was sitting at Burger King, McDonald's.
We had him on
looking at my small coffee.
That is the statement of the show. That's the best statement I've heard. This is Dennis O'Brien. I'm here with Susan Johnson, my co-host, and Bill Sayers, the Democratic Party chairman, and Mayor Tom DeVivo. I thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with another great guest and another great show.
Great
Thank
guest,
you.
great show with Lieutenant Governor Susan Bisowitz.